Welcome to another episode of Taking Care of Business. This is a production of the Town Board of Cortlandt, where we showcase local businesses. I'm joined today by Co-Councilman Frank Farrell, who's also Deputy Supervisor, and we're here today at Zio's Italian Deli, 2040 Albany Post Road, which is Route 9. We're actually at the site of the old Quick Mart, for reference, which was here for at least 30 years, is that right?
A long time, yes.
Long time. And we're going to be joined now by Steve, the new owner. Thank you for inviting us to meet you and to visit with you at your establishment, Zio's Italian Deli.
For coming, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
How long have you been open?
We're just about hitting the 5-month mark.
Oh.
All right. And so far so good. You know, in the new location, obviously the old Quick Mart. We did some remodeling just to, spruce it up.
It looks great.
And bring some Italian products to the area, and hopefully many more years to come.
So what's your background? And I know this is a family business.
It's a family business. I'm in construction. I have a construction company, so I handled the remodeling. And my wife, she grew up in the deli business.
That's Libby.
Libby, my wife Libby, you'll be meeting later, and she knows all the ins and outs. And I also have my father-in-law here, and with his experience, and he does a lot of the fresh mozzarella that everybody talks about, and that's pretty much the team.
Okay, and your father-in-law, who you mentioned, he's been in the deli business a long time?
He's been in the deli business for 40 years.
40 years.
Yeah.
Nice. Where was his business before?
He started he had one in Hastings, then he had one in Eastchester, and his last one was in Sleepy Hollow for 22 years. So.
Very good. So.
And then he decided to retire, and then we put him back to work.
Yeah, okay, some businesses you can't leave.
Yeah. I really love an Italian deli. I see you've got the soppressata. You say you make
the
mozzarella
we have the
every
soppressata.
day.
We make fresh mozzarella every day. We have the bread that comes from Arthur Avenue.
Nice.
We have hot food, different selection every day, but we do have some, staples that are every day. Then certain entrees change. And then all the cold cuts, board head cold cuts, and all our great customers that come in all the time.
Well, I have a patient who came in just yesterday, and he was saying to me that I had to stop by here to see how the fresh mozzarella is made. And I said, well, that's just funny because I'm going there tomorrow.
That's where so that's good. That's good to know.
And that's your father-in-law's specialty.
That's his specialty,
okay,
yeah.
And I was telling a friend of mine that I was coming here for this interview, and he said that he'd been here, and it's as neat as a pin.
Well, that was my main goal, is just to make it neat and clean and bright.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Well, that you've accomplished. So let's meet the rest of your staff and learn about the rest of the establishment.
Absolutely.
So, Steve, why don't you show us behind the counter where the magic happens?
Sure. Well, basically here we have the salad bar, so they can make salads to order, fresh. You could add all your toppings, whatever you like. We have the rice pudding we make here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
nice.
We make the rice pudding. It's actually the old recipe.
Very nice.
So that we do.
So many places get the stuff from the
like
commercial
pre-made.
bins.
No, this is made here on site.
I love that.
Oh.
So that I could guarantee you. And now you have Teresa. She's making a combo for someone. Italian combo? Italian combo.
Nice.
Nice Italian combo.
So,
Oil,
Teresa,
vinegar.
you've been here for quite some time,
Yes.
even in its prior iteration, right?
Yes.
When it was the Quick Mart. How long have you worked here?
14 years.
Oh, okay, so you know your way around the back of the deli.
Yes.
Okay.
In and out.
Okay.
It's coming now.
And Steve, why don't you show us some of the
So
specialties?
yeah, this is some of the hot foods that we have every day. Every day we make eggplant parmesan, sausage and peppers, meatballs, chicken parmesan, and then today, because it's Friday,
Clams oreganata?
clams oreganata.
Nice.
During Lent, some people won't eat meat.
Sure.
So we have tilapia, we have flounder, we have all types of fish. That changes every week, based
Quite
on.
a selection. Yeah.
We try to
Really
give a
is.
nice selection to everybody, and this could all be entrees or wedges, sandwiches, however they like.
Okay.
We could head into the kitchen.
You don't see clams too often on a deli counter. That's really nice.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the clams isn't, people look for that. and it's like a nice little treat, you know.
Sure,
Yeah, it's a
absolutely.
beautiful wide selection of different foods they have for different tastes and appetites.
And you'll change it up seasonally as we
We
get into
change it
summer?
up seasonally.
Yeah.
We change it up. You know, we also have obviously the grills. We could do cheesesteak sandwiches. We have a big breakfast menu. A lot of bacon, egg, and cheeses, ham, egg, and
course.
cheeses, all that. We do pancakes. We make French toast to order. So it's all to order.
That's nice.
So breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We could take care of.
That's
You
excellent.
just have to
Come
go
down
home to
here,
sleep. You come here for 3 meals.
Come on
My
in,
wife,
Libby.
you could. This is Louis. This is one of the cooks.
Hey, Louis, how do you
Hi,
do?
Louis.
He works in
Welcome.
the kitchen and he also helps out up front.
Welcome, Libby.
Thank you, thank you. Hi, how are you?
So we hear that you're really the brains behind the operation.
Oh, is that what you hear? Okay, thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that.
But the truth is, we know that your father works behind. We're going to meet him momentarily. But you've been working in delis most of your life.
Most of my life, yes. He's had a few delis in the past that I've helped out with, and I guess once it's in your blood, it's in your blood.
Yes, and you also somehow managed time to raise 3 boys, correct?
I
Three
get 2
kids.
girls and
Two
1
girls
boy.
and a boy.
Oh, 2
Yeah.
girls and a boy.
Yeah. Those. Yeah, we're still trying to figure out how to balance everything, but
Yes, I'm
we're
sure
doing
that's
it.
quite a bit to balance. 3 children and working in a deli, which has crazy hours.
It does. It's got crazy hours, but we try to split it up and we try to do our best and see what we can do.
Partners at home, partners at work,
That's
right?
right.
you go.
That's
And just
right.
do what the boss says, you'll be fine.
That's all. That's all. Just follow the rules.
You know everybody's eating well, so I'm sure the kids
That's
are
for
Yeah,
sure.
growing.
they're eating, so we're good. We're good. We're good.
Go ahead.
This mozzarella is delicious.
Fabulous.
So here's my father-in-law, Joe. He's making mozzarella, which he does every day.
Hey, Joe, I've already been sampling. I couldn't wait.
It's okay, go ahead. I hope you enjoy it.
So we met your daughter, Libby, and we met your son-in-law, and we heard a lot about you, that you've been in this business for many years.
I hope they say something good.
Yeah, they did. They said you had delis in Lower Westchester,
Yes, I
in
did.
Hastings, and Eastchester, and Sleepy Hollow.
Oh my God. No secret anymore, huh?
No secrets. So tell us about the mozzarella. I was saying earlier that I have a patient who was telling me that he comes here specially for this, and that you make this fresh every single day.
Every day. Every day.
So how do you start?
We started with the core. They call core. It has to be chopped up. You gotta boil the water, salt in the water, and then
Then you knead it out by hand.
yeah.
How long does this process take?
Whole thing in an hour.
An hour. So, and every day you do this routine. But it comes out fresh. You don't get that everywhere.
Pretty sure somebody else does.
Well, I'm
But
sure
maybe
they
better
do, but
than
not
me too.
No, that I
Maybe better.
doubt. That I doubt. But I bet it's unique to have it handmade right in the store.
That's
which is,
true, yes.
Which is wonderful. It's your own product you can be proud of.
Yeah.
I'm going to sample some.
Yeah, go
And there we
ahead,
have. That's Alicia. She's she's making some chicken cutlets.
Frank.
We do that all here, fresh, obviously, and she's one of the cooks also. Prepares a lot of the amazing dishes that we put out there, so we have a good crew, and that's very important too. So
That's important.
very important.
Well,
Without that, you wouldn't be able to.
they make your
Couldn't do
reputation.
everything. Well, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that was the whole plan, to put the whole team together correctly.
Thanks, Joe. Olio. Okay,
Olio,
yeah.
So that's the curd. That's the way it comes. And through his process, that's the finished product, the actual mozzarella. But you have to cut it, heat it up. It's a process, obviously. And then you work it, to make it like silky. And that's where all the work is. That's the key, is just
Yeah.
kneading it correctly to make it be nice and
And tolerating
smooth.
the boiling.
And the hot water, that's like 180 degrees.
Is that right?
That your hands are in.
290.
Okay.
Wow.
But that's how it starts, and that's the finished product.
So I saw when you were rolling the ball, is it strained in any way or no? You just keep.
No, you just
don't
knead
use
it, like
the
you
cheese?
almost stretch it
Yes.
and knead it.
You gotta keep him working out. That way they get nervous. So you gotta really
Yeah, it's almost like it stresses the cheese. If you don't do it properly,
Yeah.
the inside is not,
It gets very tough.
it'll get tough.
Okay.
So where does the name Zio come from?
Zio, it's a Zio in Italian means uncle. So basically, it came out as really as a goof of one of my son's baseball teammates. the father, he calls me Zio.
Okay.
Just started calling me Zio.
Like uncle. Yeah.
So when we decided to take over the store, my daughter actually goes, Dad, why don't you name the store Zio's? I said, you know what? That's not a bad idea. But it does mean uncle. And it's almost like saying you're going to your uncle's. It's like,
Sure,
you know,
sure,
you're like
sure.
family.
Now you got to pay her residuals for the
Yeah,
idea.
absolutely. Of course. She's
Well,
looking
you know,
for it.
I think the other deli was closed for a good few months, maybe a year
The
or
other
more.
deli was closed for a year.
And I think so many people missed it, and now they're so happy to
Yep.
see you here.
And we're still at that point where some people are just finding out that we're open.
Sure.
Takes time.
The people found other places to go, obviously, after a year. It wasn't closed for a month, it was closed for a year. That's a long time.
Yeah, so you're just south of Springvale,
Yep.
right in the old Quick Mart
Yep,
location.
exactly.
Next to Lucasello's.
Absolutely, right, next
nice.
to Lucasello.
Great location near the exit to the
Yes.
or
Yeah.
entrance.
We
I
have
should
plenty
say,
of
to the
parking.
highway.
And a lot of, you know, the accommodations, it's even handicap accessible.
Well, I see if you're grabbing a breakfast to go, you can eat on your way to work, or you can also eat here
Or
if
you
you
could
want.
dine in, we have seating, you know, you're welcome to sit and, you know, eat here and,
That's nice.
you know, and enjoy the,
People can
place.
meet their friends for a cup of coffee
Yep.
before they go to work or
can meet.
come home. Yeah.
and it's,
Espresso, cappuccino.
we have espresso, we have cappuccino.
Ah, nice.
That's all very good.
It
Yeah.
is nice.
And Frank, this is what you were referencing. You love the smell of the Italian
I
deli.
sure do.
The dry
And, you know-
soppressata, which is dry sausage, both hot and sweet. And this is what your
This is
father-in-law
what he was
saying.
talking about. Yeah, we have a lot of dried soppressata, dried sausage. We have some imported salami, spicy. We have anchovies.
I'd say just what you need to make a nice
Nice
sauce.
anchovies
Yeah.
with the fresh mozzarella goes good. You know, now that it's close to Easter, a big Italian tradition is chocolate eggs. We have some, you know, chocolate eggs imported with the little prize inside for the kids. We have a lot of imported pasta, whole wheat,
Yeah, a
gluten-free.
very nice selection here of the
You know,
type
people
of
really
food
love
that
this
you
pasta.
used to
It's
go
a
down
nice
to
pasta.
Little Italy to get, but now we can get right here in
You don't have to
Cortland.
go that far anymore.
And you've got Pellegrino.
We have
Excellent.
Pellegrino, we have some Italian drinks,
Nice,
Chinotto,
nice.
some juices, pear juices, peach juices.
Peppers.
Well, I know that you're going to be very successful here, and it's so wonderful to have you in town. I think you refilled the void, but also
Yes,
added to
yes,
it by
indeed.
bringing the Italian specialties that are hard to find. You know,
Yeah, well, that's the goal, you know, just to have, there's a lot of stores around, you know, but you want to be a little bit different, have
Sure.
something to offer that someone else doesn't have.
and we love the fact that it's a family business. That your father-in-law, who's been in it for 40 years, your wife.
Yeah, my wife, sometimes my mother-in-law is here too. Every once in a while my mother will come, my father will be here. They're all, you know, they all pitch in to do
So
something.
it means you have like 4 or 5 bosses, right?
I have a lot of bosses.
And you let the kids off the hook. They're not
The
begging?
kids are usually off the hook, believe it or not.
Their time will come. I
They're there,
suspect.
it'll come. Summer's coming.
Well, Steve,
There you
thank
go.
you so much for letting us visit.
Thank you very much.
Frank, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
It's a
So
pleasure.
again, this is Zio's Italian Deli, 2040 Albany Post Road on Route 9A, just where the old Quick Mart used to be,
the old Quick
and
Mart
just
used to
north
be.
of the Montrose exit off of Route 9. And from here, we're going to go on to visit a second business in town, and we'll be happy to introduce you to that shortly.
And soon we're going to have Lotto also, so customers could go like a one-stop shop.
Well, Councilman Farrell and I have now driven about 2 minutes south of Zio's Italian Deli, and we're now at 2017 Albany Post Road, which is the Cortlandt Plaza. Councilman Farrell, because of the weather, is wearing his CCRA, the Cortlandt Rowing Association cap, sharing the spirit. And we're about to visit Cooke's Little Shop of Flowers, which is adjacent to Row 13 Wines and Liquors, and also the local dry cleaners. So let's go inside and meet Mr. Cooke and his staff and get an introduction to this beautiful florist shop. joined inside Little Shop of Flowers by Stuart Cooke, who is the owner and proprietor.
Right.
Welcome, Stuart.
Welcome. Thank you very much for coming by today.
No, it's our pleasure. Perfect time of year, as Frank was saying, for this on a nice rainy, cold day with spring in the air. You could almost feel it.
You really can.
Yes.
Spring is coming, and if you look around, you'll see the spring is springing in here. So.
Yes, okay. You know, it's so wonderful to go to local stores and to find out the history. Now, I see on the blackboard behind us that you guys have been serving our community since 1898.
Yep, my grandfather actually started the business down in Tarrytown. Then they moved over into the Greenberg section of White Plains. We were there till the early 2000s, and then we sold that property, and then we opened this up around 2005, 2006, and been here since.
Oh, wow. So it is a family establishment. It goes back a long, long time.
Sure does. My wife and I own the business now, and then I have one of my sons here helping me out right now,
Oh, nice.
and along with our designer, Kim. But yeah, and the holiday time, when we're real busy, all my sons come in and help me out, so it's real nice.
Well, the flowers themselves are beautiful, but the arrangements are what's important.
Right.
And you were saying earlier that you actually teach flower arranging.
I used to. I no longer do, but yes, I did for quite a few years. After I graduated from college, I did the both these programs at night school, and I did for about 10 years. We did floral design to a lot of people, local people.
Now,
And
do
as
you
I
also
mentioned-
make the wreaths? I see on the door you've got a nice wreath arrangement.
Yes, we do. We'll do everything from silk, fresh flowers, plants, everything. So
Very
yes, we
nice.
do, yeah.
And you know, besides the occasions when you would traditionally think of flowers, an
Right.
anniversary, maybe a wedding,
Holiday time.
graduation,
Right.
you also do funeral displays.
Yes, we do. We
Things
do
like that.
We do funeral flowers. We do corsages for proms. We like to say we do it all, soup to nuts. You
Yeah.
know, we do wedding work. We do the funeral work, as you mentioned.
And you know,
Birthdays, anniversaries.
one thing I thought was interesting, you mentioned that people can also have flowers brought to their home. So if somebody wants to have a nice cut flower arrangement,
Oh yeah, we deliver every day. We deliver everyday designs.
Yeah.
All throughout the northern Westchester, up into the lower part of Putnam County. We go down as far as Briarcliff. Of course, the whole Croton, Cortlandt area.
So
But
not
also
necess-
what you were referring to too is like a weekly program.
Yeah.
And we have a program here that we call our Flowers of the Week program. I have a couple of samples there. And what that is basically like a subscription service.
I like
And
that.
people could sign up for 3 months, 6 months, or a year. And it could come, they choose whether they like it weekly, every other week, or once a month even. We do quite a bit. And what we usually do is they leave the selection up to us.
okay, so you know
And-
it's fresh and in season, yeah.
And the beautiful part about the flower market today is we can get flowers from all over the world. So I can literally sit here now and buy directly from the markets in Holland,
Oh.
South America. So we get the freshest material and we get a wide range of material. And then that's what we do. We make the bouquets up and we send them out.
See, now I understand how it works, because sometimes you go to someone's home and they always seem to have fresh flowers.
Yeah.
Now I
And
know they
that's
have
how-
a flower subscription.
But it really
That's
makes
a great
the,
idea.
It makes
is.
the room beautiful, right?
Yeah, it brightens up a house, brightens up an office.
Sure.
A lot of times it's used for, we'll also send them like to nursing homes, you know, because it's a great gift
Sure.
to think about. They send once a week or
How
once
about
a
if I
month.
was selling my house?
Well, you know, that's a big business there where they
Yeah.
do the setup or something like
Staging,
that.
yeah.
Sure.
Staging, that's what it is, right. And I've worked with some local real estate people. They do the actual staging. I don't get into that.
Yeah.
But as far as helping provide, you know, whether they want arrangements, they may want a flowering plant, and orchid plants are popular for that.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Very nice.
Well, in the internet era and in the era of Amazon online this and 800 that, I'm very much interested in a local shop.
Right.
You know, I think that there are certain advantages to being able to go into a brick and mortar store and see and smell the flowers, you know, because there's such a wonderful scent
Yeah.
in here that you won't appreciate on television.
And very much so. And you know, they all said there was going to be the death of the brick and mortars when the internet came out and the Amazon and everything else. But the way I looked at it, I basically looked at it as an opportunity. And we have a website and we use it as a tool, as a selling tool. But the nice thing about this is, you know, people can come in, as you said, they can touch the flowers, they can, you know, smell
And
the
work
flowers.
with you to get
and
the
work with me.
arrangements.
And, you know, we allow the people, you know, if they want to come in and take one flower out of our cooler, we let them come out, do that. If they want to wander around in the cooler, we encourage that too. Just tell them be careful, don't get lost in there. But, you know, we just want people to feel comfortable buying flowers.
And, you know, one of the things that's always, you know, come to mind is that when you deal with, larger telephone 800 type of system. Some of the money is going out of the community to these big corporations and not going to the local florist or the flowers themselves.
No, very much so, and that's 800 Flowers totally turned the floral industry upside down when they came in the late 80s, early 90s. And quite literally, you're paying more money when you buy it online, because fully almost 1/3 of what you pay an online florist, if you would, and now today there's a lot of online florists, and fully 1/3 of what you spend goes to those people and does not even go into the flowers that you're sending out. So let's say you spent $75, they're giving me $50 to deliver it for them. They're keeping the other 25. And so then people are actually getting smaller arrangements, whereas if they came in and spent $65 here, they would get a lot bigger arrangement.
And also,
so it is
too,
cheap.
So it's a better value.
A lot better
if you,
value.
If you want to send flowers to somebody who's sick or for a birthday or something, and you call up and you're placing your one and only order you're ever going to do with these guys, who knows what they're sending them?
Correct.
Might not be the freshest, maybe it's not going to last as long.
Right.
Whereas if you come here, you know you've got a 100-year-old reputation to uphold. You're going to make sure it's fresh and right.
And you can come in and see me too, or you can call me and tell me. So,
That's right.
So
Yeah,
yes,
But I
I'm
think
going
that's
to
a
make
good
sure.
point.
it's-
Sometimes
yeah.
you hang up the phone and you have this empty feeling. I hope they get
Get
it.
it right.
And did it come?
And they're not
what
going
did
to
it
tell
look
you
like?
that
and,
they only
Right.
lasted 2 days.
That's right.
Yes,
You know,
but
so-
here you're picking fresh
Sure.
stuff that just came in, as you said, locally sourced.
And a big thing we've noticed in our business now too is where, florist industry always had that unique ability to send flowers same day all around the world, the old FTD and like
Yes.
that. Well, today what's happening is we have a website, but we get an awful lot of calls from out of town where people say, all right, look, I don't want to go through 800 Flowers. I like to deal with the local people.
Oh.
So they see our website, so it's easy for them. They can pick it out. We can
Right.
we talk about it on the phone. We go back and forth. They said, look, this is what I want. My son just took care of one. The person called around noontime. They said, look, I really need it there by 3 o'clock. And so we were able to put it together, and he just came back, and he was at the place at 3 o'clock, and the lady came at 3:02, so they ran into
Nice.
each other. So, I mean, this is the kind of thing that we can give.
Service.
Service. We
Yeah.
can give the service, and we also sell a quality product. So, I mean, the flowers are going to last. They're all fresh. And we get many, many comments, people coming in and saying, how do your flowers last so long? That, as a matter of fact, one of my other sons put a section on our website explaining why our flowers last so much longer.
They're not sitting
than
in a
everybody
warehouse
else's
for a week.
At that time.
Yeah.
And we take care of them. And we know we only deal with reputable wholesalers.
Right.
So I know once the flowers are cut, they're put in water right away. They're kept cool through the whole shipping process, right on from
That's
the
so
grower,
important.
right up to the wholesaler, and then when the wholesaler sends it to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of TLC that's involved.
Totally, 100%. And it makes a huge difference.
Stuart, these are beautiful. My wife loves orchids. She loves caring for them. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Orchids, they're very, very popular today. And the thing, interestingly, they're grown by a method called tissue culture. So they're a lot easier to propagate today than they used to be. That's why you're seeing so many of them. And what tissue culture means, basically, they can just take a very small cutting, just a couple cells out of the stem, and put it in a petri dish, and that's how they start a new plant. So literally, out of a plant like this, you can get 500 to 1,000
No
little
kidding.
plants. And a lot of it's all done in laboratories today, and then it's moved into greenhouses.
Well, these are so beautiful. They're so
Right.
variegated.
That's how we're getting all the different colors, because they can do it so quickly. They can go from generation to generation and trying to produce the new colors. That's why we're getting so many new flowers so quickly
Right.
today. And that's the biggest thing I've seen in business. As I mentioned, I've been in since 1973, and the biggest change I've seen is what we have available to us today. And orchids is just one case. And I know a lot of people get scared with orchids, but they're actually very, very easy to take care of. And they'll flower. Once you buy them like this, they'll flower. They should flower anywhere for about 4 to 6 months. Then they will drop their flowers. And the thing I always said, the orchid plant has the most beautiful flower, but when it's not flowering, it's one of the ugliest plants in nature. But you have to put up with it. If you just leave the plant on the windowsill like that, just forget about it. I find the best thing is just forget about it. And then all of a sudden, 9 months to a year later, you're going to walk by and the thing, you'll notice the buds.
Second
and then
life.
right. So they're very easy to take care of. I don't want people to get scared of them.
Yeah.
Because everybody says orchids, oh my God, but they really are. And you know, there's that old thing about to water them, just put a couple ice cubes in them once a week. So they're really very easy to take care of. Just keep them out of the very direct hot sunlight. That's about the only thing.
Okay, and you just room temperature is fine?
Room temperature is great.
Interesting. I always thought they were very picky and
Well, that's
temperamental.
one, but people are scared of them. They're
They call them
literally
a
scared of
hothouse
them.
flower,
Right,
right?
Yes.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're really easy to take care of in the house.
And this is also an orchid?
Yeah,
Yes.
these are all different types of orchids. These are all types of what they call Phalaenopsis orchids.
Okay.
Orchid family is huge. I mean, there's tons of different members of it. These are all just different examples of the Phalaenopsis. This is the most popular, which is a nice big white one. And then you have all the different little color ones, the purple,
Beautiful.
the two-tones. You know, and they're absolutely beautiful. I get amazed. There's that beautiful brown one over there. So,
Oh, yes.
and then other plants we have, like Spathophilium peace lilies. These have always been around, but they're also grown by this tissue culture method. And the plants that they produce now are a lot hardier. They flower a lot more readily. These plants are great. They're very, very easy to take care of.
I'm going to have to get a tip from you because I've got one of these now,
Right.
and I've managed to keep it alive for 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
at least, but it only flowered once.
Well.
So what do I need to make that happen again?
The biggest thing I find there is if you change the location. If you
Okay.
just change the location where you're getting some more light, that kind of thing. And the other thing with green foliage plants, to get them to flower, we try to trick them a little bit and don't make them so happy. You may be making it too happy.
I doubt
it. But if you don't feed, you know, you find you cut back on the food a little bit like that. Just keep
Oh,
it
you know what?
evenly
I'm not
moist.
giving it any food. I'm just putting water in every once in a
All
while.
right, so every now and then just give it a shot of fertilizer and that one little thing. One little thing, just break the pattern of what you're doing, and a lot of times that will force it into bloom. But spats
We'll be
will
checking
basically-
up on you, Frank, to see how you're doing.
see how you're going.
Let's see if I passed.
And then, of course, you have the old favorites like the African violets, the
Yeah,
Rigger begonias,
yeah.
which have been around for years and are still popular. And the violets today, the varieties are 100% better as far as reflowering in the house, and they give you just a lot bigger, a lot nicer look.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it's such a nice treat when something pops. You're not
Right,
expecting it. Yeah.
exactly. You're right. You've just been looking at the green plant for 6 months, and all of a sudden a flower
I
comes
can imagine it's like that with the orchids.
orchids, yes.
You're just looking at those
Yep.
sticks, and then one day they start to bloom again.
up. My wife keeps a nice collection of them in her windowsill, and she'll say, you know, it's just all plants, and then all of a sudden she'll come to me and say, hey, I got another one flowering here. See, so they're very
Yeah.
easy to flower.
I'm interested, Stuart, in seeing what you have in the refrigerator.
Well, as I mentioned before, you know, one of the things that we encourage here is that we want people to come in and just feel very, very comfortable buying loose cut flowers. So if somebody comes in and they want to buy just individual flowers, we more than encourage that. They can take an individual tulip, they can take a bunch of tulips, whatever they like. And again, looking at all the different varieties of stuff we have to work with today, you know, we have stuff we never had before. Well, this is ranunculus. They're beautiful here. Hydrangeas has become a very, very popular flower.
Yes.
Hydrangeas,
People love to grow them in their yards.
right, exactly. But they've become a very, very popular cut flower. And the nice thing about hydrangeas is they're now coming in a wide range of colors. I have the blue and the white here. We usually have green always. But you can get them in purples, you can get them in pinks, and all different types of colors. In the fall, you get more fall colors.
It's really beautiful.
This is another very unusual one. This is called kale, which has also become very popular. It's just like the kale like we
To
eat.
eat, yeah.
I don't know if I would eat this one or not, but it's very unique and is nicely used for design purposes.
It's
It looks a
beautiful.
little like that cabbage that I see sometimes on
Right,
borders.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's the same thing. The ornamental cabbage, you
Yeah.
know, kale, yes. So there is kale, they sell the same one. This one is just a more of a cut flower variety.
Okay.
Produces a longer stem.
Together with regular flowers, it makes
Right,
a
and
very
it
nice
makes- right.
combination.
Then we also pride ourselves also on our design abilities. You know, as I mentioned before, Kim, you can see she's making a beautiful vase over there. And I also do the designing here. And this is something that Kim made here, just a beautiful mixture of roses and lilies and the Gerber daisies.
I don't know my colors, but I assume that's a lavender.
Lavender roses.
Those
The
roses
pink.
are beautiful.
Yeah,
And
they
these
are.
ones will open up at some point?
The lilies do open up.
Yes,
The nice
yeah.
thing about lilies is that, you know, you start out with 1 or 2 open flowers, but then the other flowers will develop and open as they come along.
Beautiful.
And then one of the things we offer too is we always have bouquets ready. We always try to have bouquets ready if we're not getting too busy or not. But we offer them that people can come in and just buy the bouquet ready-made. So they want to walk in, it's all ready, they can take that. They can take it with or without the vase.
Nice.
I see.
And so it's all ready there for them. They come in. because as we said, we want to make it easy for people to buy flowers.
And this certainly makes you think of spring with tulips, right?
Definitely with the tulips.
Yeah.
Very popular cut flower.
People go to the Netherlands to see the tulips in spring.
Right.
You know, these huge fields of
And
them.
they ship an awful lot into our market here, out of the Dutch and everything else. But this year we switched. We have a standing order with a grower out of Canada. These are coming. And they seem they're a bigger flower, longer stem, and they actually hold up a lot better in a vase. You know, we're getting at this upwards of 10 days to 2 weeks lasting as a cut flower.
They're beautiful.
So
That's
it's,
terrific, yeah.
So it's great.
And with Easter coming up, I assume that this is a busy time for
Right,
you.
Easter is always a nice, there's always a holiday that kicks off the spring. I've always loved Easter since I was a little kid. But you get all the plants will start coming in, and of course the Easter lilies, the hydrangeas, the azaleas, and you get all the different ball plants, the tulips and like that.
And these we can grow in our garden in the summer.
Yeah.
Not too used to seeing them
The
this time
sunflower.
of year. The sunflower.
And sunflowers become extremely popular now as a cut flower, like the hydrangeas. Stuff that years ago we never even thought of using as cut flowers, and now we're using them every day.
Why
And
do you
I have
suppose that is?
I think, number one, I think florists had a tendency to use certain flowers too much, like carnations, gladiolas, and we gave them a bad rep.
Oh.
You know, we get more requests here, make me in a beautiful arrangement, don't put a carnation in it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, don't put a gladiolus in it. So I think part of that is our fault. We probably overused the flowers. But we also, as I mentioned earlier, we didn't have the selection back then that we have
Right.
now.
It's
Now
also
we have the
it's also
selection.
nice. It's like a native species. This is very American, something you can grow
Beautiful.
here.
And during the summer months, we worked for one of our wholesalers with a flower farm down in Pennsylvania. And they grow all types of stuff, but the main thing they grow is sunflowers. But we get all the nice big ones with the different shades in the middle. And now, because sunflowers gotten so popular, the growers down in South America are producing them, so we get them just about year round.
Well, that's
I
terrific.
think there's only about 2 or 3 weeks out of the whole year I can't get sunflower today.
That's amazing.
And the amazing thing is we get people coming in the middle of January, do you have sunflower? You know,
Well-
so it is.
And there's one of your beautiful arrangements right now.
Yeah,
coming
that's one of our plant baskets that we do.
Yeah,
Nice
it's
mixture of the
beautiful.
different flowering plants, which are very popular this time of year. You start to get all the color.
Yeah, they're just beautiful arrangements.
yeah.
They'll brighten up any home. And this is where the magic happens.
This is where the magic happens.
Yes, this is where you take
This is our
them
magic area, right?
and take them from just plants into
Take
beautiful
'em from,
floral
Right
arrangements.
from the bases, from the greens, right on up.
It's really
They're
an art,
very-
isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Not to self-promote ourselves, but
No,
yes,
that-
it is.
you
It's
should.
definitely an art.
Yes.
And it's, you know, it's something that, you know, Kim's been working at it, I think 20 plus years, Kim? I'm not trying to give up age or anything.
Yeah, he gave me my start, everything I know.
And you know, I
okay.
like, besides the flowers, you've got these mosses in here to kind
Right,
of
that's.
give it a little ground.
Yeah, we use that this is a moss that we use to help cover up and to cover
Yeah.
our mechanics. And it gives it a nice look.
Okay.
You know, part of what we put together, you can go ahead, is,
And I love the fact that
When
they
we put it together-
flower at different times too, so
Yeah.
that the arrangement changes over time.
Exactly.
Right, right. And then you have a nice basket to use.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. And then we do stuff like fruit baskets, and this, as I mentioned, the arrangements. This, I just pulled this out. We're working on a wedding here for June, and they're just looking for some different ideas. So this is one Kim did up,
Ah,
where they want to have
so you're
floating
kind of
candles.
workshopping the idea.
Exactly.
Nice.
So we try to figure it out, and then we'll send pictures to the bride-to-be and let her make her decision. But we're also playing around with it to learn
Sure.
the nuts and bolts of it.
And now this is obviously a fruit basket.
Yes, that's fruit and what we call our fruit and goodie basket. So a combination of fresh
So
fruit.
in addition to flowers, you deal with.
we do fruit and
Oh,
That's a
super.
nice gift for a customer that you want to thank for a job or something.
Yeah.
holiday time is very popular with businesses. I like that going to other businesses.
Sure.
So yeah, that's a very popular one for us.
So it's very convenient for someone. They can go right next store to the food town, and 1 second later they're getting fresh flowers and fruit baskets. It's very, very nice to have some expertise so local that you can come up with.
Trying to set up a new type of flower shop, and I wanted it to be open to people. So one of the things I wanted to do is open up the design area. You went into a lot of older flower shops, and the magic, as we call it, was always done in the back room, behind
Yes.
walls, whatever.
Right.
What I wanted to do is bring it right out, and we do it right here. So we have all our bases right here. We do the work right here. So people come in if they want. We're more than encourage them. They can sit here and watch us work. We do it,
And
they
give
can
you
watch
their
us.
input as to what they like as
Exactly.
individuals.
You know, and so some people will come in and say, well, I don't like this one, I like this one. Others will say, just do the magic. So,
Okay.
so we opened it up so the customers can actually come back here.
Yeah. They
And
can
wander
select their
around while
own,
we're doing
their
the
own
work.
bays or ribbons,
Exactly.
colors, whatever they
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
Well, Stuart, I want to thank you for hosting Frank and I, for everyone in the community.
Well, I
This
thank
is
you.
Cooke's Little Shop of Flowers on Route 9, Albany Post Road. Been here since 1898, a real family business. And you can tell that they put their heart and soul into what they do and that they love their work. And we're so pleased to have you as part of the community. Thanks
Thank
for
you very
hosting
much
with
for
us
coming
today.
by
Thank
today.
you.
I really
It's
appreciate
really
it.
a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
And we'll see you next month for another edition of Taking Care of Business.